Hello everybody, welcome to the final video of Thursday, and this is the Cavalier Cheat Sheet. As a lot of you know, once a month I put together a cheat sheet. So I think it's going to go past the point of the joke of going like, well, is it cheat? It's not cheat. It's just a sheet of information, which I do the same thing when it comes to variants. It just rhymes, cheat and sheet, but it's basically like a helpful node interaction guide based on various different types of quests in Cavalier and the respective different champions that go against the nodes, and the availability of that is in the description down below. I'm going to go over a few things with this month, some new additions, some top MVPs based on buffs that have recently come, and so much more. In any case, a Google spreadsheet drive version is available in the description down below, and also I'll try and make this available as well as the Excel version on my Discord, and links for that in the description down below. Now we kick things off with 1.1. This is a science-based quest, and for this particular quest I've got a very veritable smorgasbord of champions, including some new additions and also some ones that I've been using quite recently that I actually really like. Do bear in mind the way that I create this is based on singular or solo champion use, and I am trying to put in other types of synergy based ones, but I do want that emphasis to be like, this is about solo champions and going like, right, well, it's like saying let's bring 3 path clearers to 2 boss clearers, and that's kind of the process. So first of all, Spider-Man 2099, which was recently added and is a champion that I'm using in my Cavalier grind this month so far. I found very effective with the build of debuffs and things like wither, vulnerabilities, and various other different types of debuffs. It does make it quite handy for whittled down, which the enemy champion takes 60% less damage while they have no debuffs applied, and you know, it's just in case it plays in quite nicely to that. But it's not all about that, because there are other champion options. Immortal Abomination has this thing where if you stay in the block and enemies hit you into the block, it puts a weakness on the enemy, and I do like using that champion. Usually it's just a case I go like, okay, Cap Infinity War with Cosmic and Tech puts debuffs on, and also to the point that I need them, weakness debuff, etc. And it's like, okay, well, I'll do that route. I'll do that particular interaction. But it was nice to use Spider-Man 2099 and Immortal Abomination, some newly ranked up champions, into my rotation. There are some other ones, and that is Abomination Red Guardian, as we know. Human Torch is a surefire hit. Mr. Fantastic has been another MVP I've been using. Void, Immortal Hulk, Luke Cage, Yellow Jacket. I mean, Luke Cage is an absolute beast when it comes to this node. She-Hulk with Mr. Fantastic, and Cat with She-Hulk with Mr. Fantastic as well. Lots of different combinations that can be done there for 1.1. Over now to 1.2. On 1.2, this is all about Mystic-based champions. And as what I have done is I have updated the Mystic section of this. I've only added in a couple more champions to this, and they just really remain the same. We haven't had a strong Mystic champion I've wanted to add into this. So Scarlet Witch Sigil, for those that have it, heading into or having your well-timed block, I think it is, you nullifying, is a great way to then go into the node, which will bring that passive fury up to you, or passive prowess I should say, and that is just great. That's just going to be a great way of building up the prowess and smacking in great special amounts of damage. But look, let's face it, we got our Dr. Doom, we got Jane Foster Thor with the heavy attacks because we're doing a stagger. You've also got the Black Widow Clairvoyant with nullifying, and very, very nice champion for that. Funny enough, a lot of times you can use Black Widow Clairvoyant, Dr. Doom, Scarlet Witch, Sorcerer Supreme. I think I've got to add into that as well. Oh no, it is there. I put Sorcerer Supreme. Symbiote Supreme as well if you have him. Mephisto with Soul Imprisonment. Juggernaut with heavy attacks. That dude needs a buff. Longshot, Sigabit with the signature ability in SP2 Fate Seal. Hood. Mangog, Scarlet Witch, the OG version. There's a whole plethora of champions on that one. Nextly, on to Cosmics, and that is the third one that says 1.3, or sorry, 2.1 I should say, and that is Celestial Vision. This is all about your Cosmic champions, and look, it's just all the same again with the Cosmic champions, like Odin with the buffs, Corvus loosely, but also those that build True Strike. You know, they can be some really good options. There's also quite a nice one which I'm yet to add, which is Hercules does get a true, I think it's True Sense buff, the one that stops anything like with miss. But yeah, that kind of really helps out with the situation. Anything that builds unique buffs, from Heimdall with True Accuracy, Nihilus with True Strike, because that plays into the node here. If you get a True Strike, then it does help out to get yourself those Furies, those passive Furies. And also you got Cosmic Ghost Rider with buff creation. You've also got well, actually, you know, you've got an SP1 from Cosmic Ghost Rider, and that's actually pretty good. King Groot with buff creation, unique buff creation, Silver Surfer, Red Goblin, there's True Sense. There's a whole plethora of champions that you can choose from. Black Bolt with Hit Monkey synergy. Yep, list goes on. Now, danger, it's high voltage. Yes, the tech side of things, 2.2. So champions that indeed have a power drain, burn, or lock on the defender inflict a shock passive, dealing 5% of base attack as energy damage. Now, you don't have to do that, because you can do a shock effect. You can do like a shock debuff in order to improve the process of acquisition of the passive Fury. So you can use a plethora of different champions, and some of those champions, even like one that's been recently buffed. You can look to the Warlock with his Shock SP1, Iron Man Infinity War Shock SP1, same with Psycho Man, Dark Hulk. Hulkbuster does shocks, you know, with heavy attacks. Sentinel shocks with heavy attacks. Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, shock with the SP2. Red Skull, shock with SP2. How the Duck, the same. Guardian, heavy attack with Sasquatch synergy. Very good synergy to have. Don't really kind of call like that, but you know, that is a good one. Nebula, recently buffed, very effective, because you're able to do heavy attacks with and well-timed blocks when it comes to you taking your amp charges and then kind of like throwing them on the enemy. So yeah, there's a lot of consistency with that champion. A very, very decent champion for Cavalier difficulty this month. Now, power drain, burn, and power steal effects. So vision, special attacks, power drains, and or power burns. And then Gezi 2099, who I actually started using a bit more than normal and actually really rate. I think I've been avoiding her, not like on purpose, but it's just been a case that there's been other champions I've been interested in using. I like my Warlock. I think it's one of my favorite champions out there. But Guillotine 2099 is slowly growing on me with the pre-fights, but also SP1. That's something I need to kind of like update with this. I was mainly rotating around using a SP1, but you know, that was a bit more fun and effective, because I was taking a power and just constantly rotating, and just worked out really well, especially because a lot of regeners seem to be on that enemy wise on the on one of the paths, so it helps out. Mysterio with special attacks, Kang with special attacks, Star-Lord with specials, Vulture, Nimrod under the Blitz protocol, that's a newly one added, and also Doc Ock with the Unawakened version can be quite helpful with that. But yeah, look out for that as an option, as many other options as well. Over now to the next one, and this one is all about skill-based champions. Martial, Discipline, Fighting Fit, and Accident Prone. This is all about the shrugging off of debuff effects effectively. Every 5 critical hits, a skill attacker lands Purify or purifies all non-damaging debuffs, and also Accidental Prone. Every 5 seconds, the attacker is inflicted with a debuff in the order of Weakness, Disorient, Armor Break, and Special Lock. Okay. Now with this, there are some MVPs. There's some I absolutely love, and also I kind of prefer more on the shrug off side of things than the crit side of things, and those ones are definitely Black Widow Deadly Origin with the crit, Falcon crits whilst locked on, Black Panther shrugs off and crits, Stealth Suit Spider-Man with the crit, Shang-Chi recently added to the game, very, very effective against this based on how you play the champion, Elsa Bloodstone with the crit, Ronan Aegon, Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, and then on to my favourites, as I've said, Karnak, because he shrugs off non-damaging debuff effects and recently buffed, very effective for this in particular. Crossbones shrugs off and is an amazing, he's my favourite champion when it comes to Cavalier difficulty and doing some of these skill ones. I really can't recommend him enough when it comes to it. I can't remember if I've done like a full video breakdown of Crossbones. It's been something either I've wanted to do because he is one of my favourite champions, which is weird because back several years ago he wasn't. You know, a Command Mike favourite, which is sometimes weird to share a favorite with himself, but it is what it is. When you like a champion, you like a champion. Jabari Panther, Mole Man, Kingpin, Hitmonkey, Nick Fury, and Korg with immunities are all kind of like effective against this stuff. So yeah, some great options there. And now we move on to the final node, the mutant node, which is Healing Factor. Now with Healing Factor, it is all about each hit in a special attack of an attacking mutant champion has 30% chance to grant them a passive regen, healing the base health. And the chances increase to 70% if the attacker has a prowess buff. Then as mutant attackers gain an indefinite passive fury, increasing attack rating by 70% every time they gain a regeneration buff. Okay, so passives, or no, not passives, prowess buildeth the regen, and that in turn helps to raise the extent of passive furies in a quick method in order to grab them. So that's something to kind of like help the process. So for the champions that have recently come in are relatively effective: Kitty Pryde, Jubilee, as we know, very recent ones. The most effective ones are indeed Apocalypse, Professor X, Gambit, Magneto, which is also good against hashtag metal champions, if indeed there's hashtag metal champions on the route, say like path clearing. Then you got Mr. Sinister, Bishop, House of X, Magneto, Storm Pyramid X, Emma Frost. You've also got regen mutants as well to consider: Mr. Sinister, X-23, Wolverine, Cable with Apocalypse, Old Man Logan, which goes great with Sabretooth. So yeah. And Sabretooth by himself. So yeah, there's plenty of options there to kind of like choose from in order to be, you know, some really good options for takedowns. And there we go. That has been the Cavalier cheat sheet for November. It goes hand in hand with the video posted earlier today about options to take down the bosses and also some path ones. So look forward to that video as well. It's kind of like go hand in hand. I'll try and put a link to that video in the description down below. And this will be the final video today. Tomorrow we'll be having the Marvel Contest of Champions news show in the morning, as we normally do. And there may be another video which will either be my top 5 tips for the month, or it'll be something else before I then start getting into some other content going into next week. And it may be a case we've got Variant 8 information, and expect some live streams in order to get some of this content bashed out. So hopefully get to see you then. Thanks again for watching. Check out the links in the descriptions to the various bits of content and write-ups, and as well Cavalier cheat sheet and whatnot. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.